Nearly a decade ago, 21 young people in Oregon sued the federal government over the impacts of climate change. I remember when that happened, kind of seemed like they were tilting at windmills. The case has been through lots of twists and turns, at some points appearing all but dead, but not dead. And now a recent ruling has given the case new life, and it appears to actually be headed for trial. Environmental reporter Cale Williams has tonight's big story.
After more than 8 years, numerous motions to dismiss the case, and months of failed settlement talks, Juliana versus the United States finally appears headed for trial. The landmark case, filed in 2015 by 21 young Oregonians, alleges that the federal government has failed to protect their right to a stable climate. Matt Dos Santos is general counsel for Our Children's Trust, the firm representing the plaintiffs.
They're incredibly excited about the opportunity to finally have their day in court.
But the plaintiffs don't just say that the government has let climate change happen. The suit accuses the government of playing an active role in pushing policies bad for the environment.
This court case is about establishing a constitutional right.
Here's lead plaintiff Kelsey Juliana in 2019.
Our government has, knowingly, willfully made choices and pushed forward an energy system that is dependent on fossil fuels and that is helping to contribute to climate chaos.
Now, lots has changed between 2015 and today. Back then, Barack Obama was still president, and John Kitzhaber was still governor of Oregon. And climate change, while recognized as a dire problem, hadn't become the mainstream issue it is today.
I think there's been a bit of an awakening about the importance and the urgency of this issue. It used to be that there were a handful of scientists really pounding on the desk to try and move this issue forward. And now I think there really is a cultural shift happening.
And some other things have changed as well.
We've seen unprecedented wildfires. We've seen huge storms impacting us, changes in weather patterns that have really had a lot of significant impacts, economic, social impact.
As the case has moved along, the government has argued that climate change is too big of an issue to be decided by the courts. Instead, the Department of Justice has asserted the issue would be better suited for a legislative fix. Dos Santos disagrees, citing other fundamental rights decided by the courts, like abortion and school segregation.
All of those issues went through our court system. Yes, they were big and complex, but that doesn't mean that the courts don't have a role to play.
In late December, U.S. District Judge Ann Aiken dismissed the government's most recent motion to dismiss the case, writing, "This catastrophe is the great emergency of our time and compels urgent action." Aiken noted that oil and gas companies in the U.S. receive roughly $20 billion in government subsidies every year, and she described the government's climate strategy as an unhurried, inch-meal, bureaucratic response to our most dire emergency. If the case proceeds as planned, the trial could start in a Eugene federal courtroom later this year.
It's really about,
and for the young people at the heart of the case, it's been a long time coming.
Like, some of them have literally grown into adulthood during the course of this litigation, gone to college, they're going to law school, and they're ready to take their case to trial and have their voices heard in court.
Cale Williams, KGW News.